Hey, hello. Okay. It's the Ham Radio Show. Is this Corey Feldman?
Hello there.
Hey. Corey Feldman. Corey, let me just tell you right now, we were taking odds that you weren't going to call, and I won because I said in my heart of hearts, Corey Feldman wouldn't fuck us over like that.
There you go.
And he'd show up. Thank you,
That's
Corey.
Right.
God damn it!
Damn straight.
Corey Feldman.
I had to make sure my AirPods were properly charged because I didn't want to be like pulling out in the middle and then whatever.
Corey, come on! You've definitely pulled out before. What happened?
No, I hear it's a bad thing when you pull out too early.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
That's how Joe has 2 kids.
My wife say that all the time.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
But you also can't pull out too late.
Nope.
You can't pull out too late. It's a very fine balance.
I'm telling you. let me point out right now. I think Corey has heard this show before because he knows exactly. He's fitting in great.
Okay.
All right. He's definitely a friend of the program right now.
Okay.
So Corey, I know we have very limited time with you, and I know we are going to get to the music. We're going to plug the Love Retours 23, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. By the way, to get tickets for that, go to CoreyFeldman.net. Please do that. Get off your asses.
Right.
Go do handle. Corey has a whole other, musical career. Please get off your asses and go do that. I have tons of stuff I want to ask you.
Check it out.
Yeah, please check it out.
Okay.
All right, so here we go.
I'm here.
First question. First question. Yes or no, tell me if this story is accurate. Did you start doing cocaine for the first time on the set of The Lost Boys?
What, do we really have to go that far down?
Yes! Yes, we do!
I mean, wait, come on, man. I've got a book. It's called Choreography. I've talked about all of these things. I mean, it's just...
Well, you don't have to go into full detail. You don't have to go into full detail. Just tell me if I'm right.
I'm just saying. This stuff is 30 years old information, man.
Yeah, but Corey, the people but that also led to a lot of the stuff that you were hanging out with Kinnison and all that stuff. These are the wild parties that we have to live vicariously through you. You were there. You were at the parties.
Yeah. Well, listen, I shouldn't have been. I should not have been at those damn parties. If there was an adult in the room, I wouldn't have been at those parties. That's beside the point. But it was a bunch of
craziness.
I guess mentally incapable of growing adults, insufficient maturity levels around me that were uncompromised and unequivalent to anything I'd ever experienced. So there you go.
There you go. See, I'm going to say yes to my first question. That happened.
I think that's a great answer.
And that was a great answer.
Listen, I got fired from the set of Lost Boys.
Well, that's what I was.
Nothing glamorous.
Yeah.
Nothing glamorous about any of it.
Yeah, but that's what I was asking. Yeah.
Listen, I followed in the footsteps of my great mother, who was such a wonderful influence on me during the time that I was shooting that film. That basically I was like, oh, this is what she does. I guess that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But terrible stuff. Listen, there's a reason why I got sober at 19 years old and never looked back.
Well,
I really
good.
I cannot stand cocaine. It is the worst drug in the world. It's so gross. It makes people gross. I don't know. I don't mean to offend anybody.
No, it's all right, Joe.
I apologize. I know this is not politically correct. If you're a using addict, I do apologize for bashing your drug of choice. I know it's probably really wrong.
I love how Corey is worried that he offended the cokeheads.
Yeah, really.
I'm sorry, people on coke right now.
Listen.
No, I know exactly.
If you're searching the carpets right now, you probably don't want to listen to this show because if you're biscuit surfing on the carpet and looking for that little piece of crack that you left somewhere last night,
that's Joe.
You probably might want to tune out about now because that's just not going to have a lot of love.
Hey, Joe on our show used to do a shitload of coke. That was Joe in the 80s.
I know exactly what he's talking about because when you're doing the coke, it's the greatest thing in the world. But when you stop, you better taboo it.
Yeah, it's when you run out of the coke. That's the problem.
If you're going to stay clean, you got to stay away.
I can't hear a word he's saying.
He's saying that if you run out of coke, is when the problem actually starts. He's like, doing coke is great,
exactly.
But when you run out of coke is when he had the problem.
As Sam used to say, what do you mean? There's plenty of coke. There's no problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because legendary.
I got news for you.
Yeah. The legendary
What?
stories of Kinnison.
What?
Kinnison used to do giant rails.
Well,
They were about to, like the whole coffee table was coke, and he'd snort the whole table. So it's pretty much a legacy.
It's all true. Listen, Sam and I had many bouts as far as we would have these ridiculous contests. You know, who could outperform, who could whatever, who could ever be at a lower IQ for a longer period of time. I think it was a real contest. But the bottom line is, we did ridiculous things. We stayed up for days at a time, and it was terrible. It was just, I mean, not to say at the time I thought it was terrible. At the time, I obviously thought I was having fun, or I wouldn't have been doing it.
Absolutely,
But that's the deception.
Exactly.
That's the deception. I got news for you. Anybody can be a crackhead.
Yes.
Anybody can be a crackhead.
Yeah.
It does not take any special set of skills whatsoever. I found this out. I definitely did the field research. I did everything I could to find out in the 80s, and I found out very early on that it did not take any kind of special person to do this. Anybody is applicable.
Correct.
And, I was very lucky to escape with my life, so I leave it there.
That's actually the greatest quote from Corey Feldman on the show today. I want someone to write that down. Anybody can be a crackhead. Corey, so I got another question, because for a personal thing...
you know what? If you say I'm not a crackhead yet, that means you're eligible too.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Very true. You're on the list if you're not a crackhead yet. All right, so I mean, you have such a track record, tremendous movies, Stand By Me, The Lost Boys, Goonies. We can go into all of them. I mean, I know we don't have enough time, but we can go into all these movies that you have done. Your track record, your IMDb.
Well, come on, we just spent 10 minutes on crack. Certainly, we can talk about film.
Oh no! Trust me. I'm gonna segue off cocaine to a movie that's near and dear to my heart.
Why though? Why? It's such a great topic. This is what the audience wants to hear.
Absolutely. Always stay on cocaine. That's what they teach you in Radio 101. Stay on coke. All right. So, question.
I thought it was lesbians.
No, lesbians is a different thing. Now, deviating off of that, off the cocaine. How do you end up?
You gotta say deviate. You gotta say deviate. Really? Okay, fine. We've got deviated septums all day. Thank you very much.
Now everyone's nose is fucked up. When we go off of that, how I got to talk to you about Friday the 13th, because you are a legacy character in the Friday the 13th. How did you get the movie Friday the 13th Part 4? If I'm correct, I think it's the fourth one. How did you get that movie? Because you play Tommy, who ends up officially killing Jason Voorhees.
Well, I had to lay in the middle of a table completely naked.
Ooh.
And no, I'm just joking.
That's how I got this job. So I was. Go ahead, continue.
You see where you're going with this?
Yes.
Terrible.
He's doing that right now.
No. Listen, I like anybody else, I fought long and hard. But, you went through the process. That's what you do. You go through the process. You go on your auditions. You do the work.
Yeah, but they didn't seek you out? They didn't say, this is Corey Feldman. We want to put him in the movie?
No. No. I was nobody. Nobody.
You just did a bunch of commercials by then.
Yeah, but you were...
well, I did a couple TV shows. I think I'd already shot Gremlins, but it hadn't been out in the theaters yet, so nobody knew.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why,
I was just another kid actor. But the funny story is not about the Friday the 13th casting. It's about the Stand By Me casting, which it was actually called The Body when I went and auditioned for it. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget this because it's such a great story, but I was in the casting office, and there's all these kids and their moms. It's always the kids and their moms, because the moms are stage moms, helicopter moms, whatever.
Yeah.
And they hang out with their kids, and they tell them what to say, and don't talk to this kid or talk to that kid. Oh, you want to get close to this one because they got a bunch of stuff going on, and, whatever, right? Mm. So you hear all the gossip when you're sitting there trying to read your lines, and this one lady says, oh yeah, that's that one guy. Yeah, he's an actor. Yeah, but you know what? Yeah, don't worry about him because, he's from one of those Friday the 13th movies. And, those people that do those movies, they never end up working again. So don't worry about that.
That's funny. That is fucking funny.
And I was like just sitting there, keeping my eyes on the script, like, okay, Mo, that's cool. We cool. Don't worry about it. And then I got the job. So there you go.
And by the way, it was tremendous in Stand By Me. You're a pivotal fucking character in that movie.
That's a great movie.
I know everyone puts it on Jerry O'Connell and they put it on River Phoenix there. But you are literally like, you have a fucked up character that you have to perform, and you came from a world of abuse to begin with, so it must have, you were kind of venting it out.
So I wasn't really acting at all.
Exactly, that's what I'm
saying. No, the real credit goes to Will Wheaton.
Absolutely, yeah.
I just had to say it because you didn't mention his name.
Oh no! There was 4 boys in this movie, and Will Wheaton, was the lead.
That's right.
But everyone talks about Jerry O'Connell because he was the fat kid, and then they talk about Phoenix because he was the tough one. And you have to me the pivotal, the one I remember the most though, and this is not blowing smoke up your ass and kissing your ass, even though
because I was crazy.
Yeah, you played the crazy fucking yeah. And you had and when they talk about putting your ear on the stove and all that, like all that shit, you're the one that like that one. When I watch Stand By Me, you're the character that sticks in my head because it's. I mean, Will Wheaton was great.
I appreciate it. It. And you know what? Just to make it up to you, I'm going to perform Stand By Me at my concert. So when you come to see my show, Lovely Doors, we'll play Stand By Me. I'm going to play it on drums just for you.
Aww.
And when you're there, I'll make sure to dedicate it for you, all right? How about that?
All right. And while you're at it, if you could perform the leech scene, too, that would be wonderful. Live on the air.
Well, hey, you bring the leeches, I'll perform the scene.
All right. Let's get him some tidy whities. It's time for the leech scene.
It's a deal.
Yeah.
Although, if we remember correctly, I wasn't the one that had them on my testiculars.
I know, but we don't have the other guy, so you have to perform all the roles.
No, but you got to play the other guy.
I'll play. Look, I can play Fat Jerry O'Connell. I can do that. Because I'm a fat guy.
There you go. So,
right.
And then you grab one of your buddies there at the station, and he's the guy that gets the leech on the ball. And we're all good.
There you go. Then see, we're all good there. By the way, if you haven't figured it out, it is Corey Feldman Appreciation Night here on the show. We are talking live to Corey Feldman here on the program. Dude, we've been waiting for this all night. This is something like we are very excited that you were here. We've already asked you about cocaine.
Well, I'm very excited to be here.
We've already asked you about Friday the 13th. You told us a great Stand By Me story, the movie that was originally called The Body. So you're doing great stuff. I do have a question, though. Billy, do you have a question first?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, of all the movies you made, which one was the most fun that you actually enjoyed, doing and...
What's your favorite one that you enjoyed making?
Well, I mean, there's my favorite to make, and there's my favorite to watch.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But I think that I enjoyed things about all of them. I disliked things about all of them. You know what I mean? Obviously, there were great moments throughout my life, but I would say from my childhood films, if we're just speaking about my childhood films, Goonies was the favorite.
Nice.
If we're speaking about my adult films, I would say probably Corbin Nash was the one that I really enjoyed making the most because it was just such a wild character for me to play. Right. And as far as watching films, looking back on my films, I always had a real soft spot for Dream a Little Dream, and The Birthday, which is my new favorite. Which, if you haven't seen it yet, well, you probably haven't seen it yet because it hasn't been released in America. But it's a cult favorite. Jordan Peele, who incidentally bought my ear from Stand By Me,
nice.
As ironic as that is, but Jordan Peele actually set up a few screenings of the film at the Lincoln Center this year in New York, and they both were sold out and rave reviews and all that kind of stuff, and we're looking at possible redistribution of the film because it's never been released in America. So hopefully one day you'll get to see it. That's a really cool movie.
I will definitely check that out. I know everyone else here Billy's looking it up as we speak to make sure he can go see it somewhere. All right, so we do have the Love Retours 23. Get your tickets, like I said before, CoreyFeldman.net. We got to talk about the music.
Right.
We got to talk about the music for a minute. You're going on tour. You're doing a shitload of venues, all over the place. So you'll have your chance to see Corey.
It's actually a smaller amount than last year. Last year we did 50.
Yeah.
We're doing 25 this year. So this is kind of like, this makes 75 shows across the U.S. for Lover Tours, which in total is a ton. Yes, it is a truckload, a veritable plethora of rock and roll shows. So we're doing a lot. But we're also getting ready to go international. So next year will be the big venture out of the United States, which is really exciting for me because I've done about, 13 or 14 U.S. tours, and I've never played outside the U.S. Yeah. So it's very exciting to do that finally. So this is kind of gearing up for that.
Do you have a strong fan base overseas?
Oh, my God. Yeah, Canada, UK, Australia, Japan. I even get, people from Russia. We get people from all over the world, really. It's crazy. I mean, places you would never expect, like Afghanistan or, stuff like that. I have Afghanistan people come up to me, Afghanis, they'll say, oh, yeah, you're really big in our part of the world. They'll be like, what? How do you even know me?
Right.
But, yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you are Corey. Corey fucking Feldman, for Christ. I mean, it's not like you're like a nobody. You are a somebody.
But walking down the street, I don't think of it that way. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, you're not
just a guy.
Well, you're not a dickhead about it. I got that part. But I'm saying you are. If we walk down the street together, you're the famous one. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it works, dude. I mean, it's just the way it is.
I get it. But, but that doesn't... in my mind, I think of it kind of more centralized. And it's, when you go somewhere and you're in the middle of freaking nowhere, like... I went to Bora Bora once, and I'm out there in the middle of the Polynesian lagoon, and somebody's like, "Oh, Corey Feldman," and I'm like, "What the hell? How do they know?" So that kind of stuff just always freaks me out. But aside from that, I mean, I'm pretty used to it.
All right, so I got to ask you the elephant in the room, and not just me because I'm fat. The elephant in the room of the Michael Jackson influence between, because if you go to CoreyFeldman.net. The photo shoot is very Michael Jackson-esque, all right? And a lot of people talk about it all the time. Now, what exactly did you just...
I don't know what...
Well,
I don't know what photo shoot you're speaking of.
It's on the website itself.
Are you talking about the photos from the new Interview magazine?
No, it's just on the cover page of the... It's on the cover page of the website. I mean, they're beautiful black and white pictures. They're nice.
Oh yeah, I don't know. It could have been. We did a couple of really cool shoots, but I don't know. I don't know which ones you're talking about because I don't go on there very often. But
okay.
That said,
well, either way, you look good in them. Now, the question is though,
listen, if you're referring to like my style, I've always had the same style since I was a kid. Nothing has really ever changed. Yes. I guess at the base of it, there was definitely influenced by MJ because we were friends.
Exactly, yeah. That's what my question was.
But the style. I mean, I think it's developed to my own thing. I don't think it really kind of hinders on that anymore.
No.
I think there was definitely that, as a kid. But it's there. I mean, I think there's, in my music you hear influence, but you hear a lot of influence because I have a lot of people I look up to: Paul McCartney, Billy Joel.
That was going to be my next question. Who are your influences? Yeah, that was going to be my question.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I mean, when you listen to one of my albums, I dare you to say, 3 songs sound the same because they don't. I mean, it's like every song is from a different genre. It's from a different style. It's from a different sound. So that's one of the things that I've always kind of been able to pride myself on is not locking into a particular sound or a particular thing when it comes to the creation of the music. I've got a reggae song on the new album. The new album, by the way, is called Love Left to Army with Love. And it's definitely a rocker. I mean, more than anything, it's got some hardcore rock songs. But there's like the lead single, Comeback King, which features Curtis Young, who's Dr. Dre's son. And that song definitely has some MJ influence. So there's, bits and pieces here and there. But if you listen to the whole album, I think it would be a lot less kind of similar or comparable if you listen to the overall production.
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't even actually comparing you to Michael Jackson. I was just saying because a lot of people look at the look and everything else, but that's why I wanted to know what because I don't think a lot of people can actually figure out what is Corey Feldman's musical influences. Like, because you do play, you have a rock style,
well, that's good.
and it's no, I know that's great. Yeah. That's why I'm saying I don't think that that's why a lot of people bullshit. Exactly, a lot of people
guessing and coming back for more
with the bullshit. Like the people will mock or they'll say, "Oh, look, Corey Feldman's on," but because they can't pigeonhole you into one style. You play a shitload of different styles of music. That was what I was going to get at. And as such, I don't think that they.
I mean, we do everything from.
Yeah.
We do everything from blues to hip hop to rock to, you know what I mean, and DJs and EDM. I mean, I love it all, man. You know, as long as it comes from a person's creative soul and it's something that's genuine and organic, then it's good. What I can't stand is this over commercialized kind of pop candy, you know, pay as you go performance art shit that's been coming out lately. It's just it's so overwhelming.
It's garbage,
when you hear it. It's total garbage. And it's just like, I just want to hear roots. I want to hear real, you know, people's blood, sweat, and tears. If you don't hear blood, sweat, and tears in the production, then you are not listening to true art. That's the way I feel.
Yeah, we don't even have groups anymore, man.
No.
You know, at least in R&B music. You don't even have groups and stuff anymore, man.
That's true.
Well,
yeah.
And Corey has, I mean, he has his Angels. He has a whole band. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that people understand.
Well, the Angels is passe. The Angels is passe. We're not doing the Angels anymore.
So what are you now? What are you doing? What do we got now?
Angel flew the coop. The last angel flew the coop.
I was going to say, your wife and you aren't together anymore, and everything's like. I didn't want to bring it up unless you brought it up, but yeah. How are you doing, by the way?
I appreciate that, but you know, it's not easy. I'll be honest. We were together for 12 years. 12 years is a long time, and. You know, it's one of those things where every day is tough. You know, if I didn't have my kid to lean on, you know, my kid has been great. He's been very supportive. My bandmates and my friends and all of that have been very supportive. But it's not easy. Breakups are not easy. And,
tell me about it.
You know, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you don't even know if it's over. Maybe not. Maybe we don't know. But it's like the communication has been terrible. So in the meantime, we've been looking for fill-in people for the band because we need a female vocalist. We need somebody who plays keyboard. She did a lot of jobs. People don't realize how talented Courtney was or is. But I mean, like as part of the band, she was a massive part of it because she plays the videos. She plays, you know, the backing tracks. She plays the keyboards. She sings. I mean, it's a lot of job. So trying to find somebody that can fill all of those shoes is a very, very tricky position to be in with only a few weeks before tour. So we're working hard at it, and hopefully we can pull a rabbit out of our butts and come up with something great. But either way, the root of the band is 3 guys that work with me. So it's basically the 4 of us. You know, we're really strong. It's a really strong core. We've been, you know, the guitar player and I have been working together for about 12 years. He and I basically were the heart of creating Angelic to the Core, which was a double album. So we did that album together almost entirely, as well as the new album and the box set. So basically we've done like 6 albums together in the time that we've been working together and known each other. We're really close, really good friends. So that's the root of it right there. And then my friend Bentley Mitchum, who's the bass player, and him and I have known each other since 1991 because we starred in a little movie together you might have heard of called Meatballs 4.
No, never heard of it.
Yes. Yeah, so the guy who played my nemesis in that movie, who is like the dick that worked at the other camp or whatever, that was Bentley Mitchum. So Bentley Mitchum is the grandson of Robert Mitchum, so he's also part of Hollywood royalty.
There you go. He's acting royalty.
There you go. And even more importantly, he's a great guy, really cool guy. So it's the 3 of us, and then our drummer, Demetrius, who's also a really incredible guy, solid player, lots of soul. So it's the 4 of us, that's the band, and then if we can get somebody in to play keyboards, we might even have a guest sax player here and there at the shows. You know, we fill it out where we can. Can't be at every show, but there's always a surprise. The thing about this, you know, when we've been doing these tours around the country the last few years, we've had so many cool surprises from like Terry Green from the Goonies coming up to sing the Goonies song with us, was Tim Capella. Tim Capella came up at the last show that we did in Ocala, Florida, and that's the guy who's better known as the sweaty sax guy from Lost Boys. but he came up, and Jameson Newlander came up to do Cry Little Sister and People Are Strange. So it's always a good time. You never know who's going to show up. It's always a lot of fun. Curtis Young came up for a bunch of the shows. So it's, you never know who's going to pop out.
I know we have to close this out. I know it's going to be finishing up, but the only thing is I want to commend you, because I know what it's like. I'm going through a breakup right now as we speak, and I understand yours is a little bit bigger because, thank you, yours is a little bit bigger because you were married and it was a whole thing and you know, all that stuff going on, but you still have to perform.
Oh, yeah, man.
And you still have to put on a whole thing. So I commend you, because it's not fucking easy to have your mind over here with something else, and then business gets in the way of everything. But it's a business that you at least love.
And not only that, but the other thing that really makes it messed up is, it's my bandmate. So it's not just my
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's my best friend. But it's like you recorded these songs together. So it's like, there's moments I look over and I expect to see her and she's not there. Or like I don't hear her voice where it should be. It's just all that little stuff that stabs you right in the heart. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Corey, I do.
We all been there. You get over it.
That just turns around and around in your stomach. Okay, that's the one I'm talking about.
No, I totally agree with Corey Feldman. So, by the way, get off your ass, people, and go to CoreyFeldman.net, because you got to buy your tickets to see Corey perform in the Love Retours 23 tour that's going out there. There's only 25 dates now that we just learned. There's only 25 dates this go around. However, he has no clue what the fuck he's going to be on stage with.
That's right.
Because it's still a work in progress. So if you go there, you get to see what has amalgamated at the end of this thing, and you get to see Corey in all his stuff.
By the way, we're playing Riot Fest in front of 40,000 people, and we're still trying to figure out who's in the band, but this should be good. So, it's going to be exciting. You never know what's going to happen, but I think we're going to get it together. And the best part is we're even pulling out some songs that we've never played live. So, bam. There you go.
There you go. If you didn't have a fucking reason to see Corey Feldman perform, now you do. And now all you need to do is get your tickets. Good.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's one more reason, which is that I'm not getting any younger, and I don't know how much longer I can keep doing these types of shows. That's a damn good reason.
May I point out, Corey Feldman is not on cocaine. He is not on any substances. He is clean, he is sober, and he's ready to fucking rock. For more information, go to CoreyFeldman.net and see Corey in a town near you, or see him at Riot Fest in front of 40,000 screaming Coreyaholics out there hanging out and checking out Corey Feldman.
Well, he's got to come back, because we're going to read the book and we're going to have more questions.
Yes, Corey, please. You have an open invitation.
All right, we'll do it.
And we will do Corey Feldman Appreciation Night Part 2 with you again later on. Thank you, Corey Feldman, for being on the program, bro. Did you have a good time?
Thank you guys for having me. I definitely appreciate it. Absolutely.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Corey fucking Feldman, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Feldman, ladies and gentlemen. Who says we don't deliver on this fucking show?